Journey's welcome here. It's time to make new friends. Rock wave it, your roots give up, feel your Glencairn. Share a dram with the spirit of Edmonton.
Slancha! And good evening, Whiskey Brothers, Sisters, Friends, and welcome to episode 92 of the Canadian Whisky Journey's Whiskey Review. I'm Dolph. I'm the creator of the Canadian Whisky Journey, the spirit of Edmonton on all other social media platforms, and most importantly, your host tonight. And I'm glad to be reviewing the second rendition of a bottle that I reviewed a while ago. So episode 37, I did it right before, and this is the one from episode 37. I did this with Blair 3.5 years ago, right before Valentine's Day, 3 years ago. So it's been 3.5 years since that I've been waiting for this one to come out. So different bottle. A little bit different juice, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But really happy to be here, really happy to do this. So I opened, and I opened this one tonight just for you guys and for friends in the future when they want to come over and compare both of them. Just because I had a bottle, and I figure what better reason than coming out and comparing the first and second. Although tonight's not really a comparison night, it's really us talking about lot number 2, the second rendition. So Don DeMonte and his son Brandon are responsible for both of these. They're double pot distilled, non-chill filtered, natural colored, no additives, both at 45%. But they do differ somewhat in that the original stout was brewed by Lake Wilcox Brewing, and the second one by Kensington Brewing, which took over in the same place actually from them. And well, and the wood's slightly different as well. So this one right here, the newest one, it's been aged for 3 years and charred number 3 barrel from New York State. And a bit different from this one, which was also 3 years, but this was an STR, so shaved, toasted, recharred wine cask from California. And different but very similar. Now, and I was playing with this, and I was enjoying it. And the nose is a bit different on both of them. I'm not going to talk about those differences, similarities. You can do it yourself or come over and you'll try some of it. And the palate, a bit different. You can tell it's the same thing, though. So it's exciting. It's very good. Lot number 2, the second one right here, is 100% barley, 94% two-row, 6% toasted malt, Black Prince malt. They could therefore have called this a stout single malt whiskey, but Don may have thought that it was too confusing or wordy. But I like it. I like the single malt in there when it can be. It's available at the distillery and online, $75. And like I said before, if it's on this show, if I'm doing it on here, there's something or everything that I like about the bottle. So it's worth it, $75. But my favorite way of tasting it is not straight up. But this is how we're going to taste it. This is how we're going to compare them to start. Let's not compare. Let's just tell you about the second one, a little comparison back and forth. The nose. Now, my wife and I discussed this, and she convinced me of this, that it was like the marshmallow bananas with all the sweetness of the marshmallow bananas, but just a hint of the banana part. And I could go for that. So we're going to stick with that. And what I brought to the table was it smells like spent coffee grounds. So you've made your coffee, you've ground your coffee, you've made your coffee, you open it up, and then that's the scent right there that you get. So it's not coffee itself, it's the wet grounds that were just brewed. That's what I get on this. Am I right? I don't know. You guys can tell me. Palate. Now, like the first had, this has a great mouthfeel. It really, really does. I'm not saying creamy, but I'm sticking with oily. And I like it. I love it. So, and the mouthfeel really makes a whiskey for me. And friends of mine know that, not just with whiskey, but beer, and you get certain mouthfeels with them. And the creamier it is, oily into creamy, the feel accentuates the experience. And I love this one. It's great. So great mouthfeel. And on the palate, it reminds me of two chocolate bars that I had as a child. Elements of both, not quite both of them together, not quite each one individually, but I get a small hint of maraschino cherry and milk chocolate. So that's the, what candy bar is that? Cherry blossom, that's it. So it's like cherry blossom. Not as chocolatey as the cherry blossom, not as cherry-like as the cherry blossom, but hints of that in the background. And the other one is toffee. If you remember this, the Macintosh toffee came in a red package, and you have to freeze it, smack it, and then the toffee would break up in small pieces you could actually eat. If not, you'd try to chomp onto it, and it would like jar your jaw just shut for a while as you tried to eat it. So this is a combination of those two bars. Needless to say, there's a sweetness to this. The second one's sweeter than the first. The first one was sweet anyways because the STR and the wine cask added to that sweetness. But this is sweeter. And I'm usually not a sweet fan, but I am here. I'm liking it. And maybe because it's two chocolate bars that I have a nice memory for kind of egging me on to liking it at that point, but I do like it. So great mouthfeel. The cherry blossom-ish. The McCormick's, was it McCormick or Macintosh? Toffee-ish in there as well. So very enjoyable. Yeah, very sweet. I am going to go back to the first just because I want to have a bit of the first with this on the palate. Nose are very different for both of them. Yeah, it's a great mouthfeel. And this one, fruitier, not maraschino cherry. And I'm sticking with the love of the maraschino cherry right now, and I'm enjoying it. But straight up is not how I've been enjoying it. Now, you can see I received this Thursday, and I've had a couple glasses, but how I've really enjoyed this, and it's been really hot here, like in many different parts of Canada right now, dry and hot, or very wet, but we're not getting the wet. I've had it on ice, and it's phenomenal on ice, because in the summer when it's hot, that's generally when I drink bourbon. I like bourbon on the rocks. So I'll do this, probably a little bit too much, a couple ounces in there, but that's okay. Nothing else for me to do but talk here tonight. And swoop that around. And this is where the maraschino cherry came out a lot more initially. So that's where that tasting note might have come from with it straight, is because when I've had the I think 3 glasses of this weekend, I was getting maraschino cherry then. Great. And why I like the sweetness more in this one is because I'm husky. Really, really like is when it's on the rocks. And when it's cold. Well, not cold. When this is cold on a hot day. I'm going to let that chill for a bit. I'm going to come back to this and talk about the finish, because it seemed very simple initially. It was sweet, and it was a medium short finish that went from sweet to chocolate, and that was it. But I kept getting this hint, this spice on the end I couldn't figure out, and I finally got to it. And I'm hoping some other people have this and can comment on it, but I'm getting caraway seed. So little seeds, and when you crunch into the caraway seed, it's just it spark of flavor there. But I'm not talking about the initial. It's when it kind of dies down a little bit, when it's a little bit more subdued. So sweetness, And I was calling it caramel. My wife was saying butterscotch more, and so we couldn't agree on that one. But the sweetness to the milk chocolate specifically, and I know some people say dark chocolate when you talk about stouts because the beers they have that, but I'm sticking with milk chocolate. But finishing off with the caraway seed after it's been crunched for a little bit, and the last kind of remaining flavors are there, and that's what it was. I was really trying to work on that, just hint for a while. Well, that's pretty well it. If you have a chance and you talk about these, or you have a chance to taste them, you really should. We've got Don on the background saying this to me. He gets the banana, coffee, and chocolate, so he's got the same as me. Or he's making fun of what I said. There's no question mark at the end of it, so I think he's agreeing with it. But the banana is slight. The maraschino cherry for me is slight, but ever present, more present than the banana. My wife says more banana than the maraschino cherry. The coffee I get, but not coffee when you smell it. The grounds. And like fresh, you just made it. You take it out of the coffee maker as you're gonna get put in the recycle type thing. That scent, which is great, enticing, and milk chocolate for me. That's it. Hopefully everyone else enjoys it as much as I do. Get your buns over to Vaughn and talk to Dawn. They're very inviting there too. So it's you walk in and well, you're gonna look around. You're gonna check out all the different whiskeys. He's got another whiskey out right now too that I don't want to talk about yet, but at one point we will, and it's a higher percent. So I love the cask strength stuff. So this is what you're looking for. Stout whiskey, lot 2. It's SW002, so stout whiskey 002, lot 2. 45%. It's if you do put it in there, you're going to see it gets a bit cloudy, but that's what you want. You want non-chill filtered, which gets cloudy and ice, and it's a sign of something that people like me appreciate. So thank you very much for coming in, Dawn. Thanks for the comment, and those of you that see this later today, later, leave your comments. I'll get back to you because I'd like to know how your perceptions of the tasting notes, the nose, palate, and finish are the same or different from mine. That's how we learn, right? Cheers, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you with the next whiskey that I decide to put on here. Might be a week, might be several weeks. Talk to you later. Cheers.